all the sex. And I'm like, look at this.
Yeah.
I ain't got to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sitting there watching in a maze, like the umbilical cord, everything. The dog ate it all.
Yeah.
And didn't hurt the babies. That's you. The only thing I kept thinking was how the Most High. Ain't no chip can do that. You can't program the people. You can make a robot to do that, but in an animal or person, that the Most High ordained that, man, that spirit to be upon these animals, man. Right off the rip, they go into motherhood. That's crazy. I never seen that. That was the first time I really experienced a dog birth. So everything has its purpose, man. Okay, and everything follows the commandments of the Lord, except us. Go ahead.
God. So shall the heathen inherit his wrath.
Right, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath. And that's what's coming to all the heathen for everything they've done to us. And they've done to him. Go ahead.
Verse 24. As his ways are plain unto the holy.
Right, his ways are plain to the holy. We see judgment. We see what's happening. We know what's going on. It's plain to us. We like, oh, wow, okay, go ahead. Keep coming with the judgment, Lord. Go ahead.
So are they stumbling blocks onto the wicked.
So are they stumbling blocks to the wicked. They don't know why a man to get up and put a mask on and a smoke bomb and go shoot up everybody. They don't know why a kid, a 13-year-old kid that got bullied his whole life, he just snaps one day and kills everybody in the school. They don't know why. They be like, he was a good kid. I could never expect that from him because the Lord put that spirit on him. The Lord said, nah, go. You just sitting there, you're not thinking nothing of it. You on go time. You gone. Right? Go ahead.
God. Verse 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning. So evil things for sinners.
See, so the good, are good things created from the beginning. All the good things was created for the people that lives righteously. And it tells you what? Read the next part. So evil.
So evil things for sinners.
So evil things are for sinners, man. You see? So all this judgment that's happening around us, and yeah, sometimes the Most High will use a person as an example, or use a person to show his power, but most of it is judgment. You can't hide it. You got a basketball player sitting in his living room. He done retired. He's sitting back. He got drafted in 1999. Played 13 years. I don't know if he played 13 years with the Milwaukee Bucks, but I guess that's where the franchise he was really with the most. Because that's where they shot it out. And the man gets killed on Passover week in his house. Spiritually, he didn't have that blood on his door.
Yeah, I see that too. I see that.
You see that? Spiritually. Because how could a car go right into your house and kill you, bro?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You be sitting there. When they were talking about the tornadoes, I put myself between I put myself between my bed and the wall, and I said, Lord, please don't let this thing take the house. You know what I'm saying? And I said, if it do, please don't let nothing fall on my head. But if the Lord want me in between that spot, He'll have a tornado form right here and fly my ass out. You see what I'm saying? That's the judgment of the Lord. Hey, look, you can't crack them Sprites. 7-Up is clean for Passover. Those are not. All right. Save it for the next go around. Yeah, put them on the side so nobody drink them. Yeah, y'all can look that up. 7-Up is the Passover soda of choice if y'all drink that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's unleavened. You that one more time?
God. Verse 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning. So evil things for sinners.
Right, so the evil things are for sinners. Now you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on with these brothers like that. When stuff happens, it's sad. It's sad it happens to our people, but it happens for a reason. The Lord did that to them for a reason. You know, and that's why I feel the Lord sometimes with these storms, because I be like, in the back of my mind, is the Most High going to chastise me for something I did in the past? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I be on my P's and Q's and praying that the Most High don't take me away with the world. Come on. Go ahead, what you got?
God.
Oh, you got something?
Yeah, I was gonna say that verse that you just read. That's how you know predestination is real too.
Right.
Because it says from the beginning.
Right. Yeah, predestination is absolutely real. You know, we playing the script that was written for us. You know what I'm saying? We part of this role playing. Most I like that. He got a sense of humor for role playing. He'll say he wants us to play our roles. Shalom, yum, bun, yum, yum. Okay, go ahead.
God, verse 26. The principal things for the whole use of man's life.
Now, keep this, because you don't need more than this. Right here is what you need in life to survive and to be satisfied with your daily bread. Go ahead.
The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grapes, and oil and clothing.
Right. So, with all of that, what would you say is missing? Everything that's written in there, what would you say is missing in a man's life? What do you need? What else do you need?
Rib?
A rib, truth. No, I'm talking about in the physical. The rib is physical, but those are the principal things for a man to survive. With the metal, right? With the iron, he makes his instruments. So you could create your home. You could create your roof. You know what I mean? Your bed, right? So that's what the iron is created. That's what the iron is needed for. But what else is you get your room and board from the iron. You get instruments to use on the earth with the iron. What else you need that's not in here?
Currency? Like gold and silver?
But all of those things to bring you forth currency. You see what I'm saying? So there's really nothing else. That was the point of it. There's nothing else. I know some people be like, well, there ain't no room and board, but that's how you make it with your iron. So there's nothing else that you need in life, right there. Everything is the principles of man's life. Now everything else is extra. But that is your daily bread. That's what Yahweh Shai prayed for. You understand? That's why this basketball player, retired basketball player, I know he made a couple millions. Came in 1999. That's when they really started boosting up those pays, right? When everybody started getting a little bit extra money in the NBA. Now you retired, sitting, enjoying your home, and you get killed by a drunk Eve in Memphis. Show you that money can't save you. You see what I'm saying? Money can't save you. And no matter how far you go, like you retired. You see what I'm saying? Why you couldn't die at least while you was in the NBA? You would have left a pension or something. You know what I mean? For the family. I'm sure there's something for the family, but it would have been a little different. When you retire, when you actually enjoying your family time, Most High is cold, man. Most High is cold. You see? Go ahead.
Verse 27. All these things are for good to the godly.
Right. All those things are for good to the godly. To the ungodly, those things are what?
So to the sinners, they are turned into evil.
Right. They don't give a damn about that. That's not what they want. They want everything else. They want they want the Lambo. They want the jewelry. They want everything else. Everything on the bottom of that barrel, man. They want everything. So through the Spirit, the Most High is showing you that this is all a godly man needs. When Yahweh Shai said, when you pray for that daily bread, that's all we need. But in the part of our daily bread, on the every day before we go out, after we come home, man, you pray that the Most High continue to keep you covered and safe under His angels' protection. You and your family, because just like that, you could die in your home. You see what I'm saying? Just like that, you can be going up to the train station, going to work, and now here go this big old Jake throwing a smoke bomb, and now you running for your life because you can't see nothing. Everybody's wearing a goddamn mask, and all you hear is pop, 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 pop. That's the crazy thing. You know, that Sprite is 11 out.
No, 7%.
Okay, good. Good. You know what I mean? So, I just had to bring that up, but go ahead, let's keep going.
Go on. Verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance,
Right.
which in their fury lay on sword strokes.
Right. So now, for vengeance, like once again, how do you know what these people did? How do you know what this brother did? How do you know what the people did that he shot in the train station? How do you know what they did? You understand? So this judgment comes all around from the Lord. And you never know. You could say, yeah, little Jimmy was a cool boy. Little Tommy was cool. Little Sheila was all right. But not in the eyes of the Lord. You see? Go ahead.
In the time of destruction, they pour out their force.
They pour out their force. And then we had the red blood moon. We had the blood moon on the opening of the Passover. That's a lot of stuff going on during our Passover. You know what I'm saying? Little old guys over here. A lot of stuff was happening during our Passover. That's how you know we in that season, when you start seeing that judgment. When you start seeing that they don't have that spiritual blood on their dog. That's why the angel of death came right into this house with a four-wheeler. You see? So the angel of death come to you in many different ways. You know how many tornadoes have been happening recently? Lately? They've been all over the place. Okay? There's a lot going on. Go ahead.
And appease the wrath of him that made them.
So they appease the wrath of them that made him. They appease the Lord. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance.
And all of those is coming now. The hail comes in the tornado. The fire has been coming. They said they just let off, Russia just let off Satan 2.
Just saw that.
They were practicing with Satan 2. They want to see what that do. You know what I'm saying? Like they practicing with the Satan 2. So if you practicing with the Satan 2, that means you know what Satan 1 does. They trying to see what Satan 2 does. You know what I'm saying? They got to double up on it. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts.
Teeth of wild beasts. They had recently in the damn White House, by the White House, they was getting attacked by foxes. You get attacked by foxes, bro. Like there's multiple people got bitten by the White House by some crazy foxes. Foxes are kind of cool. You can play with them. They don't really, unless they got rabies, they'll act up. But a fox is cool. Fox is scared of you. They running up and biting people, man. That's the teeth of wild beasts. Okay, go ahead.
And scorpions.
And scorpions, go ahead.
Serpents.
They go to white man, go ahead.
And the sword.
That's right. The sword is continue to do what it do. Go ahead.
Punishing the wicked to destruction.
And that's what's happening, especially on this Passover season. We see a lot going on. You know, even amongst us, you know, there's people within our families that's passing away at this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, just one after another. We got a brother in New York that he just lost multiple family members, one after another. Brother Malak just went through something like that recently. You know? So this thing, and it tell you that the judgments start at the house of the Lord. So these things are going to happen. They're bound to happen. You understand? And it's just part of the prophecy. Go ahead.
Verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment
They rejoice in that command. Them bullets, that gunpowder, and the spirit, they're rejoicing. Because there's a spirit in that bullet when it goes through somebody. That spirit, that spirit got your name on it. Whoever it's coming for, whoever it's intended for. Okay? Whoever that car, I don't even know if the man had any other people in his house at the time. But they only reported that he died. You see? So you probably have your family in there and everybody, and you're the only one that died. That's kind of spooky, man. That's that Final Destination spirit. Y'all watch Final Destination? Y'all gotta watch that again. If y'all never watched it, and watch it now while y'all in the truth, Final Destination. And y'all see that spirit, man. That spirit, you can't run from the Lord's judgment, man. Go ahead.
And they shall be ready upon earth when need is.
They ready. They ready when the Lord says so. Go ahead.
And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word.
Right. You see, so they not going to transgress the Most High's word, unlike us. Okay, so enough with the judgment, man. Let's go, what I said before,
Isaiah 26.
yeah, we're going to start Isaiah 26. Come. I'm in a made. We're going to switch up the chairs. You get another chair. You got another one like this?
Yeah.
And just let him come in there. You going to I read in the building. Shalom. He on Clubhouse. Shalom on Clubhouse. All the people on Clubhouse. Shalom. Happy Passover. Happy Passover. You know, people still falling in. We're at the end. This is not tonight at sundown, but tomorrow night at sundown is officially over. We don't do it when it's over. We do it the day, we start during the beginning of the day. So the night is the beginning of the day. That's why we did it at sundown. You understand? So tomorrow at sundown, you can go back to eating all your leaven. You want to go eat your bagels, your hero sandwiches, your grilled cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Pizza.
Your pizzas. You know, you can eat all those things. So just keep that in mind. You gonna come over here till 3 o'clock?
Shalom out.
Come. So, Shalfar in the building.
Yeah.
So let's go to that. Let's start at 26 and 1. Short chapter.
God. This is Isaiah chapter 26, verse 1.
Read out.
In that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah.
That song ain't been sung yet. That day ain't happened yet. Go ahead.
We have a strong city. Salvation will God appoint for walls and bulwarks.
Right. That didn't happen yet. We ain't got no city. We ain't got no war unless you consider the handball court a war. And that's all you have. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in.
Right. So once again, that's speaking singular. It said righteous nation. It didn't say righteous nations. Okay. So it's speaking about the children of Israel. This is a future. This is the future of the kingdom. Go ahead.
Shalakia, and it said, thy nation that keepeth the truth. So let's just reiterate that right quick, what the truth is, right?
Yeah.
This is Psalms 119 and 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
Yeah.
So the righteous nation, right, that keepeth the truth is the one that keep the laws, right? Israel.
Come. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee.
So see, all these things is going to happen, but it can't happen now because the kingdom of heaven is within you. So you gotta seek it. This is also spiritually now. You gotta rejoice in your hardships. I know when things get rough, you know, I'm if you look at my son when he cries because he's tired, I get the same way. Especially when I'm driving, I get so frustrated when I know I got an hour and a half to go and I'm starting to nod off. You know what I mean? Then I gotta pull over. I hate that. I start punching the wind what's his name? In Boys in the Hood. What's his name?
Trey.
Yeah.
Trey, right?
I start punching the wind like Trey. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I get frustrated, man. You know? Well, go ahead.
Verse 4. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord, Yahweh, is everlasting strength.
So that's what we got to do in these trying times, and it's gonna get crazy. You know, we get a little taste of what we can do in the wilderness, like, you know, in tabernacles, a little barbecue like that. You know, we know we can prepare for a certain amount of time. We don't. It's gonna. Cause see, the tabernacles is just a week, so we having a good time doing it. But imagine if that's what it is right now for 40 years. Are you willing and able to deal like that? Are you able to live in that situation, in that type of climate, in that type of setup? I know we can, but what slows down men with families in a situation like that?
What slows down men with families? Little legs, toddlers.
Their families. Their families, because now you can't be just watching out for yourself. You gotta watch out for the family.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so that's a little slowdown. So I know we can do it as men, but now we gonna have to deal with the minstrels. The stores ran out. The stores are closed down.
Mm-hmm.
Where you gonna get the pads from? Now you gotta deal with cloths. See, it's cool for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. Mm-hmm. But when it's like, wait a minute, this is what it is now? This is how we gonna live? It's a whole different ballgame. So you gotta keep that trust in the Most High. You know, and you might not know nothing right now. Nothing how to survive. But then the Most High give you that instinct, the way he gave it to that dog after she gave birth. And she was eating the sacks off the babies and the umbilical cords off the babies.
Right.
Most High put that right in you. You'd be like, where did it come from? Just like when they were speaking in tongues. They like, what? Everybody looking at each other like, I know you don't speak that language, bro.
Right.
How the hell we got that understanding? Most High put that right on you, that spiritual power. That's a form of spiritual power. People think all the spiritual power, everybody gonna be flying. No, that might not be your spiritual power. You might not be able to fly. You know what I mean? But you might be able to survive and have an IQ of defeating the enemy in pure guerrilla warfare, and you ain't never fight a day in your life.
Yeah, you could take a look at the enemy's layout and to know every angle, how to map it out and destroy them. That could be your spiritual power. You know what I'm saying? You could be able to heal brothers. You know what I'm saying? That could be your spiritual power. You know what I'm saying? How to talk to the beasts of the field. You have a rat run into their room and hear everything they say. Rat come back on you, on your shoulder, talk to you, tell you what the hell. You know what I'm saying? That could be your spiritual power.
Beastmaster.
Like Beastmaster, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Brothers don't know. Brothers could probably rebuke the wind like your house shot rebuked the wind. Imagine that, be able to control the elements. I'd probably rather control the elements than blast out my hand. See, if I can control the wind, my dude, I'm gonna hit you with a tornado. You know what I'm saying? So, brothers gonna have all sorts of spiritual powers, man. It's about, what lot the Most High give you.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city. He layeth it low. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust.
So all this stuff that you see popping up right now, all these different cities, because for some reason, for them to have the economy to be so bad and there not to be so much money left, there's a lot of building going on. You don't notice that?
Right.
It's still building. You be like, how is the economy crashing? And they're building new malls, but they're closing down other stores and all this stuff. But it's new malls being open, new like buildings, big buildings. Like it's work. That ain't no cheap. See, it's one thing to buy something and reconstruct it, but to build it from the ground up, that's expensive. That's more expensive. Esau's building, man. And not even Esau. A lot of it be, like in the South, a lot of this stuff be Jake. You see T.I., he building a complex for our people. In Buckhead, right? He building an apartment complex. But it's just crazy how the world is continuing to move. Israel's still stuck where Israel's at. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing changing for us. The only thing that's changing is the Israelites bringing this light out.
Right.
That's the only thing that's changing. That's the only thing that's stopping crime. Like, imagine if the Israelites, especially the ones that was really out there in the world, imagine if all of those brothers and sisters still haven't repented. This world will be in more chaos, bro.
We finished.
It'll be more chaos. There's brothers in Israel right now that their sins, they done repented from sins for more than 100 people put together. You see what I'm saying? For more than 100 people, they sins put together. You don't know. The Most High got some crazy bugged out niggas that came from that bugged out spirits in the world, and this truth, man.
Right.
Most High got some crazy niggas in this truth. I know a couple of them.
Yeah. Even if they bugged out in this truth, I would say that they better off bugged out in this truth than bugged out in the world. In the world, they'd be really bugged out and wreaking havoc. At least now they bugged out with doctrine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if they was bugged out in the world, they'd be serial killers, man.
Yeah.
Or serial rapists, or serial, you know what I'm saying? It's just that the Most High God brought them into Israel, kind of like putting a muzzle on them. You know what I'm saying?
I get mad, but it's true.
And a straight jacket.
Yeah.
In a straight jacket,
Because these niggas is bugged out, man. But the Most High, like you say, he gonna bring down that proud city, that lofty city. And that's what's happening as we speak. Them niggas just let off Satan 2 as a practice warning shot.
Word?
Yeah, Russia, they testing it. They tested it.
They tested it?
They tested the Satan 2.
Damn.
So it's like everybody's ready for this thing. And it's like a countdown that's happening right now.
Yeah, it's like
It's a countdown.
it's like you in the hood, right? And then everybody thinking that you ain't got nothing, but you got something brand new. You know what I'm saying? Brother just got something like a brand new 4/5, right? And like in the middle of the night, you let that thing ring on the block. Like, who that? You know what I'm saying, brother? Oh, that's Billy and them, man. You know, Bill Bills, man. He got himself a little 4-5. You know what I'm saying? You want the hood to know that you ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's what Russia do. Russia letting the hood know, letting the world know that they ain't playing. So I'm letting off that Satan 2 right quick. Let them know what time it is. Mary Reed don't want to try it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Okay.
God. Verse 6, the foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor, and the steps of the needy.
Right. You see? So here you go. You got Jake waking up with smoke bombs and planning to shoot in the train station. Mm-hmm. That's a poor and needy. He out there just bugged out. You know what I mean? And the Most High poured that spirit upon him, and now he doing what he doing. And like I said, there's billions. There's billions of, I forgot what they call those. When people are on standby like that. You know what I'm talking about? When they like on standby to flip the script.
Reserve?
Militia. Nah, it's a word that like they're on a timer. They're on a timer, and it's just a matter of time that they go and do their work. I forgot the name for it, but they definitely, these spirits are on reserve.
Okay.
And there's billions of spirits like that. A lot of, especially these once these Edomites realize that their America is never, ever, ever coming back, because they really still believe they have a chance.
Yeah, a chance.
They believe Trump is coming back in 2024.
Yeah.
When if that doesn't happen, forget about it.
Yeah,
They're gonna go crazy.
Salakia, if you know that Simpsons prediction is right, and I think it's gonna be right, if they assassinate Trump, if Trump died mysteriously, or they assassinate Trump straight up, because there's a minute since an American president got assassinated. If they assassinated Trump, you might as well say this place is finished. Esau is gonna lose his mind. That emoji with the exploding head, that's going to be Esau. Because like right now Esau, he's very disappointed in Biden. Even the ones that voted for Biden. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden we ask people if they voted for Biden, nobody say they voted for Biden. So where he get all his votes from?
That ain't my president no more.
Right? He must have cheated like Trump said then. Because it seemed like nobody voted for him. So now if people that's waiting on Trump to come back get disappointed by Trump getting assassinated or something like that, yeah, America is going to be on the loose.
Mm-hmm. And then we see the dollar's dropping.
Right.
Inflation is happening. Everything is up. Everything. It don't matter what you get. And it's hard because coming from New York, you be thinking everybody's out to get you. Like, they charging too much. They trying to bank me in the head. Nah, everything is up right now. You know, my rib said something about a price of something, and I was just like, nah, it's true. Everything is up. That is the price. They're not trying to get you. So just keep that in mind. There's so much things happening, and the Most High is bringing it down. The Most High is bringing it down slowly. It's trickling down. It's trickling down, but it's eventually going to fall. And once it falls, I believe that's when Jacob trouble hits full throttle. Because you got some that say Jacob's trouble been happening since 70 AD.
Right.
Okay, that's cool. Right. We had slavery. We had 400 years, crazy. But then we get some type of leeway to travel around and get some type of freedom. There has to be something worse than that. There was never this many homosexuals on the planet.
Right.
Now they're having parades everywhere you go. There was never this much computerized technology. Now they're bringing forth drones. They're bringing forth computerized dogs, computerized robots. They're gonna have RoboCop.
Yeah.
They're gonna have Murphy.
They started with the RoboCop dogs.
Right. They're gonna have them RoboCop. And remember, that was back then. They gave you RoboCop. This damn Elon Musk, this bastard, he's more diabolical than I think all of them, because he's doing all of this stuff.
Right.
All those bots is being manufactured by him. You see, so there's a lot going on, and as Esau is building, the Most High is tearing down slowly. Go ahead.
Con. Verse 7. The way of the just is uprightness. Thou, most upright, doest weigh the path of the just.
Right. Okay. The way of the just is uprightness. The most upright doest weigh the path of the just. And that's what we doing. We out here trying to build and look for who? People that want to do this work. And that's the elect. The people that want to do this work. The people that's not afraid to get their hands dirty on that plow.
Right.
And everybody's not going to be in the camp, but that's why we have a congregation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those that don't make it to the camp, they should at least be at the feast days. They should be at the closing.
Right.
I don't know what brothers is doing. There's a lot of brothers, they fiddle in their thumbs, man. They come around when they want. They do as they please, come as they go. But a lot of people can't do that in other camps. Can't do that in other congregations. We show love. But eventually something got to give, and we got to move the old fruit for the new fruit. It is what it is, man. You know, y'all got to step your game up, Israel. And not just our camp, in all camps, in any congregation, in your household. You got to step it up in your house. You got to step it up with your wife. You gotta step it up as a man if you ain't got no a wife or children. You gotta step it up as a man. So you can be prepared for a wife and children. You understand? So you don't put yourself in more debt. Getting a woman and you're not ready for it. Having a child and you're not ready for it spiritually, physically, emotionally. Now you caught up and stuck. You know there ain't no going back. But that's why you young brothers that's in the spirit right now, take your time and don't just run out there and get a wife because your loins is moving funny. You know, you feel a tingling sensation when you wake up. Nah, hold that down, bro. Because you don't want to be with one of these crazy women. And y'all still got work to do. Okay, go ahead.
God, verse 8. Yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Lord, have we waited for thee. The desire of our soul is to thy name and to the remembrance of thee.
Right, so that's what we waiting on. It said, the way of thy judgments, O Lord, have we waited for thee. We praying for this place to fall.
Right.
We're praying, especially every pastor, we hoping and praying that the death angel goes super berserk. Goes throughout all the land. And the angel does. But it ain't what we're seeing. We're not seeing it. We're seeing what they show us.
Right.
You know how many people are dying during the Passover week that you ain't never heard about? How many shootouts in the clubs and people are getting robbed and the gun went off and you know it's so many different things happening. They just got they arrested 2 guys for shooting a sister on the back porch in Clinton County.
Yes.
You see that one? They shot in the back porch. She chilling in the back porch, she get clapped. These are things that's happening during the Passover week. How many Amber Alerts niggas got? It was mad
Right.
Amber Alerts.
Man,
Crazy
full
amount.
time.
Yeah, and they just keep going. All of that judgment, this is only what we're alerted to. The stuff that you don't know is happening is happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's people right now that died in their house that ain't nobody gonna find them till next week because they ain't nobody checking on them. And they still think Mr. Murray down the block is alive. And he dead in his house because he had a heart attack. He dead in his house because he had an OD. He had a needle hanging out of his arm.
Right.
He took the wrong drug. You see? So these are things that you don't know about. But all these things is coming to light. Everything. Go ahead.
God, verse 9. With my soul I desire thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness.
See that? When the judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants will learn righteousness. And that's how they learn their righteousness, through the judgments. Because they're like, I don't want COVID. I don't want to get bombed by Putin. I don't want to be caught up in the black on black crime. I don't want to get locked up by the police. Our people scared, man.
Brother just got shot in the head by police. Well,
In the back of the head,
in the
right?
back of the head. And other people, like K. Slade just died from COVID, so they say.
Right. Another person, you know what I'm saying? He died during the Passover.
Right. During the Passover.
See, a lot of, not bad for an idiot Passover. Right? There's a lot going on.
A lot going on, a lot of judgments.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, spirits is running rampant, man. But it tells you, it says, for when the judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. This is how you learn. Get your shit together before I blast you. Most I gonna hit you with a car, hit you with a thunderbolt, a lightning bolt. A thunderbolt. Ain't no damn thunderbolt. That's a cart at the amusement park. You know what I'm saying? A lightning bolt, man.
Right. And there was people that died on amusement rides, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you all the time, my wife's brother, man, he got struck by lightning twice. This happens. That's the only person I ever know that's been struck by lightning, and twice at that. You know, spirits, man, the Most High don't miss, man. And the blood moon.
Yeah, that heavy blood moon.
I didn't see it. I seen the purple moon because I was in my drink. I was finished. Okay, go ahead.
God. Verse 10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness.
Right. You could give favor to the wicked. They're not going to learn righteousness, man. Go ahead.
In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly.
That's why the white man eventually got to be cut off.
Right.
Because in the land of the just, he will live unjustly.
Right.
He gonna be like, no, I gotta sleep with my dog. You know, no, you can't take my German Shepherd from me. You know, like this is the type of stuff we're dealing with.
Yeah, Esau is gonna get his feelings. But this is how I feel.
You know,
Can you blame me? Yes.
Moab, no, I need those cats and dogs. We gotta live with die. They need that. You know what I'm saying? You got this is the reason why we gotta really like that rod of iron. And see, people look at us bugged out when we sound racist, but no, this is truth. This is what these people want. We're gonna have to tell Ishmael, no more Allahu Akbar booms.
Right.
We're gonna have to tell them that. No, you can't strap this bomb to your chest. We're living in peace, Ishmael. You wild bastard. Go in the desert and make a sandcastle. Go do something with your life. Get out of here. We're gonna have to beat instructions of righteousness, and as the way we fear the Lord, when we come into fearing the Lord, we have to make them fear us through the Lord. You understand? They have to fear us through the Lord, because they got to come through us. And your dog, right? Your dog ain't gonna bite you if he fears you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to implement that on these people. Okay, read that part again.
God. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord.
They won't behold it. We got to really teach them and show them. And that's why after 1,000 years, Mosai said Esau's finished. Because there's really no changing them. Like I tell you, can a leopard change its spots? What the Most High made crooked can't be made straight. The Most High tell you this. You see what I mean? This ain't us. There's a reason why the white man don't change after all these years. There's a reason why. But then you got our people trying to save them and trying to be all close to them.
Trying to domesticate them.
Domesticate the wild beast.
God.
Okay, go ahead.
God, verse 11. Lord, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see, and be ashamed for their envy at the people.
See that? It says when they hand, Lord, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to see it, but they're going to feel it. That's what that is. They don't see it because they don't understand it. But when they feel it, they're going to understand it. Okay, read again.
Lord, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see, and be ashamed for their envy at the people.
Right?
Yea, the fire of thy enemies shall devour them.
Right, the fire of thine enemy shall devour them. And they envy at the people. Who they envy? They envy Israel, man.
Right.
That's a perpetual hatred. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Lord, thou wilt ordain peace for us, for thou also hast wrought all our works in us.
Right, and that's what's coming to the New Jerusalem. That's what's coming to the nation of Israel. But first, things will get a little bit muddy. Get your rain boots on because that mud is gonna be up to your knees, man.
Right.
Okay, it's gonna get a little muddy. Go ahead.
Verse 13, O Lord our God, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us,
Mm-hmm.
but by thee only will we make mention of thy name.
Right. Other people had other lords, other presidents, other kings. They all had us under subjection at one time. But we only gonna make mention of the Lord. We ain't gonna talk about them no more, unless it's a memorial, like it says. If somebody cut one of these leaders' heads off, they cut Elon Musk's head off and hang it off a space rocket. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we probably talk about in the New Jerusalem.
Good.
You know, people want to fight Vladimir Putin. Nah, I want to see that Queen Elizabeth head come off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones, them deviant, them Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Bilderbergers. Those are them, the Clintons, them dusty crackers that I want to see their head come off. You know what I mean? These little peons. Trump, I don't want him to die. I want him to be a court justice.
Yeah.
You pass him around. You know what I'm saying? Have him build a wall to everybody's side for 1,000 years. You know, you gotta split them up.
Yeah.
Split them up. You know, go ahead.
They are dead. They shall not live.
Right. All these false gods, all these leaders of these people, they all gonna die. They shall not live. Go ahead.
They are deceased. They shall not rise.
Uh-huh.
Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory to perish.
That's it. You ain't gonna hear about these kings and lords no more. The only king you're gonna hear about is the king of Israel.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 15, thou hast increased the nation. O Lord, thou hast increased the nation. Thou art glorified. Thou hast removed it far unto all the ends of the earth.
Right. He's increased this nation. This nation is increasing. Why do you think they came with the COVID? Why do you think they came with all these different distractions? Or they got all these different drugs now, trying to stop the reproduction of our people. They've been doing this to us. That was known in Puerto Rico. That's what they did to the women. That was a known thing. They gave them pregnancy stuff to keep pregnancy, quote unquote, pregnancy pills to stop their reproduction and make them sterile.
Yeah, sterilizing.
And that's a known fact. That's what those freedom fighters was about. When you look up the machiteros, you know what I'm saying? You look up the dudes that Che Guerrero was fighting with and fighting under. You know, those were that's what they were fighting for, that type of freedom. Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 16, Lord, in trouble have they visited thee.
Mm-hmm.
They poured out a prayer when thy chastity was upon them.
Right. That's when they call on the Lord. That's when they want to believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that's when a lot of these Gentiles are going to come following us. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 17, like as a woman with child that draweth near the time of her delivery is in pain and crieth out in her pains, so have we been in thy sight, O Lord.
That's the way we've been. Go ahead.
Verse 18, we have been with child, we have been in pain, we have as it were brought forth went. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen.
Right, we ain't get no deliverance on this earth, man.
Right.
At all. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 19, thy dead men shall live together with my dead body shall they arise.
Mm-hmm.
Awake and sing, ye that dwell in dust, for thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead.
Right, so it's just a matter of time. And this is all temporary. But the everlasting, this is what we're going into. We dealing with the temporary life right now to the everlasting. This is what this temporary struggle is about. So when you think about it, this time that we're going through right now, all the trials and tribulations you face on a daily basis that you don't want to speak about to your brothers, you don't want to even mention because you probably feel you're too embarrassed to or whatever. There's going to be a time, or that you cried a lot about those situations. There's going to be a time that shit doesn't exist no more. You're not going to worry about the stress no more. You're not going to worry about wondering if your bills is going to be paid on time, so you won't get evicted, so you won't get your car repo, so you won't get your children taken away from you. You got to make sure they're in school and they have bad grades. Now they're investigating your home and all types of different things. These stresses of this world is all temporary. So what we're going through now, we got to go through it for the bigger picture at the end. And the bigger picture is what? Everlasting salvation. Everlasting. Imagine everlasting health, where you can eat and drink all you want, whatever the hell you want, and you ain't got to worry about the calorie intake. You ain't got to worry about this being a GMO, that being a GMO.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, not, this goes for the brothers that got wives, not having enough stamina for your woman. You make those faces because you're young. When you start going over that hill, you're going to need some testosterone. Let them know, we're going to need some testosterone.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you ain't got no really cares of the world, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got no, you ain't paying no bills in the house.
Right.
You ain't got no car you ain't got, cell phone bills and other bills like the electric, the cable, and when you ain't worried about those, yeah, you could indulge in your woman like a rabbit if you want. But when you start doing all those different things and have those pressures of the world and dealing with other brothers and sisters going through agony and stress, that you be like, what the hell are they telling me for? And then you realize that they're telling you because they want your wisdom and your counsel on it. So now all these different things are happening. It ain't gonna be the same. You ain't gonna physically be the same no more. These are wears and tears on your spirit as well as your physical. And you ain't even gotta be in the gym. You ain't gotta sprain your ankle. You ain't gotta bust your knee. You ain't gotta sprain your wrist. You ain't gotta jam your finger. These are the different things that happens to us in the physical in the spirit that becomes physical. There's times when I hear stuff on counseling, I hear some stuff, I don't pick up my phone for 2 days because I got to clear my mind on what the hell I just heard.
Right.
I don't want to speak to nobody. I mean, I'm just still in a state of shock, but I got to act like I'm not. You see what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. And it may seem funny now. Hopefully your body don't have to go through none of the changes that we went through, and your body goes right into the new kingdom. But it may seem funny now. What he said? Take your time, young man. Mama used to say, don't you rush to get old. Mama used to say, live your life. All right, go ahead.
Verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed.
Now, what is that talking about? People was using that for Passover, not Passover. COVID. What is this talking about? If this is all in the future tense, what is that talking about? Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. Where will your chambers be? Yeah, but you think the Most High telling you go into your house and wait for the indignation to overpass and then come back outside?
Yeah. How's your house gonna stop the KKK bullets?
Right.
And
The drunk drivers that just killed the Milwaukee Bucks ex-player in his house in Memphis. The car crashed him, killed him in his living room.
that's crazy.
That's, you see what I'm saying? So this is talking about the future tense. This is talking about the chariots.
Right.
Okay.
When you enter into that chamber, right? It says, look, come my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. Remember, he's talking about what he's gonna do to the nations here, and how beautiful we're gonna be restored. So this is talking about the chariots. Read the next verse.
Verse 21. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain.
Right. So the Lord is gonna come out of his place. Where's his place in the spiritual heavens? And he's gonna come from the whatever dimension he's in, whether it's the fourth or the third, don't know what dimension he's in, but he's in one of those different dimensions. Now he come down here and he put in that work. You know, you got brothers saying, well, he's coming from the seventh dimension. How you know? He's coming from the fourth. How do you know this, man? Brothers be going in a little too deep. You know what I'm saying? Like you losing, you're making a wrong turn in Albuquerque, my man. Slow down. Go back on the GPS because you're taking us out of range. We don't know what dimension he's coming from, but we know he's coming from one of them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to bring that out, man. A little encouragement on what's going on, a little Passover judgment. You know, you wanted to add anything?
Yeah, kind of. I want to add a few scriptures just saying how Yahushua, is the Passover. We'll run into that to the elder comes. Alright, so let me get Luke chapter 2 and start at verse 41. The whole Passover is centered around Yahushua. The whole Passover is centered around Yahushua, and throughout his life and events, you can see that he was a pivotal moment of the Passover, right? We get Luke 2 and 41.
The book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 41. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover.
His parents were what?
Went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover.
His parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. So understand, right? Yahushua went to the Passover every year. He did the Passover every year, all his life. Done? Read on.
Verse 42. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast.
Right, when he was 12 years old, right, just a young man, just entering that teenhood. Because after 12 was what, 13, 14, 15. You start becoming a young man, you know what I'm saying? Puberty start coming in, your voice start changing. You know what I'm saying? Those things that you start maturing in the body, but he also started maturing in the spirit, right? So he was 12 years old when this feast came. Read on.
And when they had fulfilled the days as they returned, the child, Christ, Yahushua, tarried behind in Jerusalem.
You see that he tarried behind in Jerusalem, right? So they must have came in a big group for Yahushua to tarry behind in Jerusalem, and his family didn't know. I can imagine like a bunch of Israelites just traveling to Jerusalem, a bunch of traffic going around. It was a big feast, you know what I'm saying? There's a few times during the barbecue, I had to check where my little son went because he'll run off over there. And I was like, where'd he go? You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine they probably lost track of him when they headed home. Like, hold on. I thought Yahushua was with his cousins over there. Where'd he go? Right? He tarried behind in Jerusalem. Right? Tarried behind him means he stayed behind. Right? Read on.
And Joseph and his mother knew not of it
right? And they didn't know what he did. He didn't even tell them that he stood behind, right? Read on.
Verse 44. But they, supposing him to have been in the company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintances.
So they sought him amongst the kinsfolk, man. Right? They sought him amongst what? The family. Right? It's like, oh, have you seen Yahushua? I thought he was with you. No, he's not. Oh, try Uncle, you know what I'm saying? Try Uncle Yahuanathan. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Uncle Yahuanathan, you seen Yahushua? Nah, I thought he was with, you know, Auntie Miriam. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, they was looking for him amongst the kinsfolk. They couldn't find him, right? Read on.
Verse 45. And when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him.
Right, so they went back to Jerusalem. He had to double back. This kind of reminded me of Home Alone. Right, when everybody was looking for Macaulay Culkin at the airport. It was like, where's, what's his name?
Kevin.
Where's Kevin?
Right.
Where's Kevin? If I turn around, where's Kevin? You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of like got the same spirit, right? Read on.
Verse 46. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple.
After 3 days of searching for this young man, they found him where?
In the temple.
Where?
In the temple.
He was in the temple, man. So for 3 days, Yahushua was there. They didn't have a care in the world. The only thing he cared about was learning that doctrine. Make sure you had that doctrine on smash. And this was the age of 12, right? Read on.
Sitting in the midst of the doctors.
Sitting in the midst of what?
In the midst of the doctors.
In the midst of the doctors, right? Now people go to school for years, then they get an 8-year extension in college to become a doctor or something like that. So these are the people that are doctors when it comes to the law. They really studied it. And he's amongst well-learned men. I mean, that's probably in the, you know, upper 20s, 30s, men that spent years studying the law. These are doctors of the law, right? Read on.
It's a lot of you. And by reading this, you can't tell me that from time to time, the white image of Caesar Borgia don't pop in your mind. It's hard not to get it out of your mind completely. You see what we're dealing with? That psychological warfare that they put on us. Because I'm catching myself like, why is he in my head? You see what I'm saying? Caesar pops up. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of psychological stuff they done did to us, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? We know who Yahushua is, but now we starting to, all those movies that we seen with the white Jesus, you know what I mean? It replays in your mind. You know what I mean? So just like when it goes AWOL for him, what pops up in your mind? It should if you watch it, the damn Passion of Christ. I start seeing that. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. Psychologically, we've been torn, man. But go ahead. That was just a segue.
God, both hearing them and asking them questions.
Verse what? Hearing them and asking them questions, right? So he's getting the breakdowns when it comes to the law and the understanding. This is the age of 12. That's like, you know, your son go missing, you can't find him, and he right next to Priest Terah and Priest ZABACH asking him questions about the law. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Read on.
Verse 47. And all that heard him were astonished.
And all that what?
That heard him were astonished.
And they were astonished, like, yo, what does 12-year-old know about the law? Like, how does he know so much? Read on.
At his understanding and answers.
At his what?
Understanding and answers.
They was astonished by his understanding of the law and the prophets, and also by his answers, man. Right? Read on.
Verse 48. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I.
Thy what?
Thy father and I.
So if Mary knew that Joseph was not the father, why is she calling Joseph the father right there? She said, your father and I, right? So that kills that whole immaculate conception thing right there. She said to Christ, your father and I Right, read on.
Sought thee sorry.
She said, yo, why would you do this to us? Like, me and your father, we was looking for you all over the place, and I was sad. Like, I thought something happened to you. Read on.
Verse 49. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Was he not that I must be about my father's business?
He said, why are you looking for me? Don't you know I'm supposed to be about my father's business? Right? Right? Yeah, right. Could have been one of my bosses.
Talking like that.
And then how was Shy got slapped out? But she was just confounded. You know what I'm saying?
It was like he's going in there because he's dealing with more than likely he's dealing with the Levite priests.
Yeah.
You know, and these are things that his father or his mother won't be able to teach him.
Right.
You have the people, the bystanders. You have the people that come to the camps, come to the congregation, but then you have the Levitical priests that are in there living that all day long, doing the chores, doing their part, wherever it is, lighting the incense, why they light the incense,
doing
the angles, the sacrifices. So he can't get that from his pops.
Right.
He can't get that from his mother.
His pops is a carpenter.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's a whole different ball game. He like, nah, I gotta sit under these dudes. And that goes back to where it says, if you find a man of wisdom,
where are his doorsteps?
Where are his doorsteps?
Yeah,
He like this. Not knowing he was coming back to flip tables, whip their ass in a later age and tell them it was all off. You see what I'm saying? As a little kid, he just sit up there observing like, and I'm sure he could tell because they was amazed like, oh, you niggas is off. He's sitting there looking at him like, oh man, I can't wait till I get bigger to chastise these dudes. You know? Go ahead.
Right. God. So, after he told her, I'm handling my father's business. Read what happened.
Verse 50. And they understood not the same.
And they what?
Understood not the same.
So if he was born from the Holy Spirit, right, and they know that he was the Son of God, she would have understood. She's like, what do you mean handle your father's business? Your father is Joseph. Like, you know what I'm saying? Without at the carpentry house right now. Like, she didn't understand what he was saying. She didn't really get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though the angel told her like he's going to be a special man, she didn't understand that he was the only begotten Son of God because Joseph got her pregnant, right? So she didn't understand that when he said he's handling his father's business, right? She didn't understand. Read on.
Which he spake unto them.
Which he spake unto them, man. They didn't even understand it, right? Let me get Salakia King from Luke. I want you to give me John 2 and 13.
God.
You can read the rest of that, though.
I'm gonna read the rest right here. Finish that up.
Verse 51. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was subject unto them. But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart.
She was dwelling on what the hell he just said.
Yeah, she never forgot about it.
Yeah.
God.
He was subject unto them, right? So like he didn't disobey them. Like he ain't stayed back to be a disobedient child. You know what I'm saying? And I think they kind of understood that. That's why he didn't get penalized. He just stood back to learn more. You understand? You know, so he wasn't a disobedient child. It says that he was subject unto them. You know, because Christians got a doctrine that Yahweh was a bad child, right? But nah, it says he was subject unto them, right?
Right, they ain't come back to him rolling a blunt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, on the side of the temple or graffitiing on the wall.
Right.
You know.
Or chasing the harlots around the city. You know what I'm saying? They go back to none of that. You know, so yeah, so he was a decent child, man. Very decent child. He kept the law perfectly. The law says honor thy father and thy mother. So he was subject to them.
Finish it up, right?
Verse 52. And Yahushua increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man.
Right. Let's get John chapter 2, verse 13.
God. The book of John, chapter 2, verse 13. Everybody have to say God. And the Jews' Passover was at hand.
And the Jews' Passover was at hand, right? It's another Passover. Read on.
And Yahushua went up to Jerusalem.
Read.
Verse 14. And found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves.
You see that? It's a Passover. And they over here selling oxen, sheep, and doves. You know what I'm saying? Or just about, making money, that filthy lucre. And this is during the Passover. Like, what are you doing? It's a holy convocation. And, you know what I'm saying, you being greedy. What's wrong with you? Right? Read on.
But not only that, if you look at what they're selling, it says oxen and sheep and doves. Those are all for different sin offerings.
Right.
So they're also buying. They're buying their animal before they sin.
So they're about to sin.
Yeah, they're about to roll out. They're gonna go to the club with two doves in their pocket. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I gotta do this once I come outside. So, you know what I mean? But that's what most of that was about also. You know what I mean? And that's where the sacrificial law had to be on standby for now, because these niggas is just killing up all the. They gonna create a famine with how many animals they sacrifice for their sins.
Their sins, yeah.
You know, but go ahead.
And the changers of money sitting.
And the changes of money sitting, man. Right? You got the men of commerce right there, like walking banks. You know?
Verse 15. And when he had made a scourge of small cords.
He did what?
Made a scourge of small cords.
Right? They call that a cat of nine tails, right? Because he made a scourge of small cords, right? All them like little hooks on them. And he wrapped them all up into one big cord, but the tails of it was still spread apart at the end. So, he was really whipping behind. Read on.
He drove them all out of the temple.
He what?
He drove them all out of the temple.
He was whipping them and chasing them up out of the temple, man. Get up out of here with that nonsense, man. Read on.
And the sheep and the oxen. And pour out the changers' money.
So he flipped the money, threw the money to the ground. You know what I'm saying? He chased out the oxen badger. Temple doors fly open. Some dudes running, holding their back. Y'all shot you wildin'. Right? And then he'll say the cows right behind him. He whipping everything. Get the hell up out of here with that nonsense. Right? What's that commercial? Wow, moo. Right? Yahushua just whipping everything moving, man. Read on.
And overthrew the tables.
And what?
And overthrew the tables.
He was mad. He was flipping the tables too, man. Yahushua went in there wilding on them, right? You gotta be more Christ-like. You Christians lucky we ain't exactly Christ-like and run up in your temples, right? And dump your money on the floor. Pastor have a heart attack. You dump that collection plate on the floor. Have a heart attack. Good Lord. Church's money. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 16. And said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence. Make not my father's house an house of merchandise.
You see, don't make my father's house a house of merchandise now. Right? Maybe when he probably started to calm down, he said, man, I can't beat the doves. The doves are too delicate. His hands in the back, they doves are here. Don't take my father's house and make it a house of merchandise. Right? Read on.
Verse 17. And his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of thy house have eaten me up.
Right? It was written that, right, the zeal of his house will eat him up, man. So it's like, it's a prophecy. Like, the Messiah is going to have a short temper when it comes to that type of stuff. Right? Read on.
Verse 18. Then answered the Jews and said unto him, what sign showest thou unto us, seeing thou doest these things?
Then the Jews like, well, what kind of sign you trying to show us? You just beat us. Right?
and they try to justify and say that Nehemiah was, he was too violent, or the Old Testament was too violent. Nehemiah did basically the same thing Yahushua did, but he used his hands.
Yeah, you might use his
He was
hands.
like, I'm gonna get from around here, or I'm gonna put hands on you niggas when I see y'all again in the next Sabbath.
Right.
Be around here no more. You see what I'm saying? So Yahushua was like, the hell with that. And then I'm sure there was probably more people in the temple during that. And Yahushua didn't have the army with him.
Nah.
You see what I'm saying? Nehemiah was building it back up. So he didn't have the army. He had an army, but, Yahushua was he went in on the spirit. You know what I mean? But that's the same spirit of Nehemiah.
Right.
The same spirit.
Same exact spirit. Ain't defiling the temple or the holy day. You know what I'm saying? I read on now.
Verse 19. Yahushua answered and said unto them, destroy this temple in 3 days. I will raise it up.
Right? He's talking about what? His crucifixion. He's like, destroy this temple in 3 days. I will raise it up. Right? Read on.
So he then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days?
And so they even understand what he was talking about. They're talking about they destroying the actual temple. He's talking about
destroy my body.
right? Because he said that he knew in the spirit after he did that, after he done whipped their ass, yeah, they're gonna turn on me. Now I mean they ain't gonna take correction. They ain't gonna know I just whipped their ass trying to save their soul. You know what I'm saying? Save them from the judgment from my father. They're gonna turn on me. They're gonna say we don't want no other king but Caesar. So they say, yeah, you're gonna destroy me, but in 3 days I'm gonna raise back up, right? What verse you want?
Verse 21.
Bring it out.
Verse 21. But he spake of the temple of his body.
He what?
Spake of the temple of his
But he
body.
spake of the temple of his body. So this brings me back to what I was saying on the Passover, that yeah, it's a prophecy that he was supposed to get crucified and die and raised back up in 3 days. So never let nobody tell you that he was crucified and raised the next day. That doesn't make any sense. That's not according to scripture or his prophecy. Right? Khan? Right? Read on.
Verse 22. When therefore he was risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this unto them, and they believed the scripture.
Remember, now they started judging. They doing something when you say foreshadowing. They saying when he was risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he said that. Right? And when he was risen from the dead, like chapters later, right? When you talking about he was crucified on the Passover. God?
God.
We gotta keep reading. Yeah, read on that.
God. And the word which Yahushua had said. Verse 23. Now, when he was in Jerusalem at the Passover, in the feast day, many believed in his name when they saw the miracles which he did.
Right? Many believed in his name when they seen the miracles that he did, man. All this thing is happening towards the Passover, right? Like I said, Yahushua's spirit and zeal was always on max. It was always on extra. It was always on 10, not 9. Always on 10 when it came to the Passover. Right? Read on.
Verse 24. But Yahushua did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men.
He what?
He knew all men.
Right? And that's a whole nother lesson, buddy. Yahushua his discernment was so heavy, he used to read thoughts. Like, I could tell what a person's thinking oftentimes by their facial expression or body language, or probably the energy they're giving off, the vibe. But Yahushua's discernment was so strong, he could basically read your thoughts. Right? Read on.
Salakia. If you read in Wisdom of Solomon 7, it talks about that. Our forefathers had the ability to read the reasoning of men, how men think.
Yeah.
King Solomon had that ability too. So yeah, that was something we were blessed with as a nation. So yeah.
Right, that's before the GMO food.
Right,
The brains was
right.
at full
Corrupt
capacity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like old folks back in the days, they used to, depending on who it was, Like my grandma had that spirit, and a lot of people come in the house, and then she'll look at them and she'll, why so down? What's going on? You know what I mean? You could tell when a spirit is certain people just show it. They just going through hell.
Right.
Certain people could have to keep the poker face, but a lot of people, you know, in the world, they show it all out. Like, oh, I'm dying. God is cursing me.
Yeah, you see all over their face.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, back in the days, it used to be a lot of that. You know, what's going on, man? I can see you're not yourself. They do that with the Snickers commercial. You're not yourself today.
You're not yourself today. Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Right? Yahweh Shai had the ability to see a Joe Pesci on the nigga, right? All praises.
There's one more precept, the 25th verse.
God. Verse 25. And needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man.
Right? He knew what was in man. Right? So he even need you to testify. He even need you to testify what this brother doing. You already knew what that brother was about. And there was times where, you know, people murmured about him, and there was times when people thought evil about him. And he said, why stinkest thou? You know what I'm saying? Because he discerned their spirits, he discerned their thoughts. So yeah, that's a whole nother lesson.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But let's get Matthew chapter 26, go to verse 19.
The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 19. And the disciples did as Yahweh had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover.
Right? Read on.
Now, when the evening was come, he sat down with the 12.
Right? Because the evening came, and they were celebrating the Passover, right? They was having their Seder meal. Read on.
Verse 21. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me.
So on the Passover,
On the
here you go.
Passover.
Right? He just calling them out. One of you gonna betray me. Right? And that's like a kick in the chest to the rest of the disciples, but that's like a kick in the head to Judas who betrayed him. Just like, damn, what the hell? Like, whoa, how he know that? But Yahweh Shai knew that. Like I said, when it came to the Passover, he was always on 10. Right? Read on.
Salakia, real quick. That also get into the spirit of, you know, when you're having friction and stuff like that. We're not supposed to get into that when we get into the Passover and these feast days.
Right.
So that story can really get, you know, a little deeper than what it is. But yeah, that's really the point too. You know what I mean?
That's why you're not supposed to come to the
Right.
Passover with that leaven.
With that leavening.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Judas had a lot of it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
a lot of that leaven.
I get
Came in with the yeast and stuff. Don't mind us that.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, read on that.
Verse 22. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I?
Like everyone is like, yo, who is it? Is it me? Like, what's going on? Right? Read on.
Verse 23. And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me.
Right? He said, hey, the person that dipped his hand in the dish for me, saying shall betray me. So he was even like giving him a glimpse of the future. Right? Read on.
Verse 24. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born.
Right. Read on.
Verse 25. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said.
I'll say it.
Right? Judas is the one that betrayed him, right?
Right.
He felt guilty. He said, well, is it me?
Right.
He said, thou sayest. Right? Hit him with the bar. Switched on himself. Right? Come on, like Yahweh Shai was turning up every Passover. Right? Let's go to verse 33.
God. Verse 33. Peter answered and said unto him, though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended.
Right, so Peter's like, in his mind, he's thinking like, yo, it'll never be me. I'll never betray Yahweh. Like, yo, who is it? Like, because I'm about to rock his jaw, right? Read on.
Verse 34. Yahweh shall say unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice.
You see that? He says, before the cock crow, you shall deny me 3 times. So this is the same night. He said, this same night, before the cock crow, you could deny me 3 times. Even though you feel in your mind
That you
want
want
to do it. You are. Right? So, you know, Yahweh shot me in 2 prophecies that same night at the Passover. He said he was going to be betrayed. He told Judas, thou sayest. So it's actually 3. He told Judas, thou sayest, right? Then he told Peter, like, yo, you're going to deny me 3 times. All right, read on that.
Verse 35.
You right.
Matthew 26 and 35.
I was showing that how I was prophesying during the Passover, and it came to pass. Read what it says, 35?
Verse 35. Peter said unto him, though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee.
Peter said, I'm not going to deny you. But we're going to find out what happened, right? We should know what happened.
Right.
Peter did deny him, right? So let's jump down to verse 73.
Come. Verse 73. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee. Verse 74. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man.
He said what?
I know not the man.
So he denying Yahweh, man. Right? I mean, if you want to get the context, you could go up to like verse 72. Start from verse 72.
Come, verse 72.
No, so that's 70, actually.
Come, verse 70. But he denied before them all.
He did what?
But he denied before them all,
So he denied Yahweh one time, he denied before them all. Read on.
saying, I know not what thou sayest.
Right? He said, I don't know what you're talking about. Right? Read on.
Verse 71. When he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, this fellow was also with Yahushua Nazareth. Verse 72. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man.
So he denied him, but he denied with an oath. That's serious. This is the same night when he said he wouldn't deny him. And then Yahushua told him, like, oh, I know tonight you say you're going to deny me, but before the cock crow, and before the sunrise, you're going to deny me 3 times. Right? And in that time, Peter's like, nah, there's no way that'll ever happen. But when the persecution happened, he started folding up. I mean, later on in his life, he made up for it.
Right.
But at that moment, Peter was folding up. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 73. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee.
So it said that you sound nervous when you talk. You gotta be one of them. Right? And these are like a group of dudes now. Right? And the rest of the disciples scattered. His leader is getting tortured, getting arrested and tortured. So he feel like he in it by himself. He's folding up. You know?
Verse 74. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew.
And after the 3rd time he denied him, immediately the cock crowed. Like Yahushua said it was going to do. And that's crazy when you think about it.
God.
Right? And I know it came to his members like, damn, I did it 3 times and the cock crowed.
But think about it this way. You know how early in the morning that had to be?
Yeah.
Like niggas was up early, like, yo, that's him.
Right.
That's him, man. I'm telling you, 5 in the morning and they pointing you out.
God.
Yeah, 4 in the morning, man.
Salakia, and that gets into the pressure. You know what I mean? You know, when we get into pressure when it comes to this walk, we can't fold, man. You know, so we got to stand strong.
Jacob's trouble coming, man.
God.
I ain't you one of them Israelites I see.
Right. On the corners.
Is it?
Yeah.
Get that in real quick. Go to Proverbs 24:10.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 10. If thou faint in the day of adversity,
Right, if you faint in the day of adversity, good,
thy strength is small.
then your strength is small. Right, so you're not really ready for this truth. You got to be ready to go all out when them tough times come, when them hard times come, when you put on the spot for being in this truth. When people want to judge you, they want to mock you, they want to test your faith, and your faith will be tested.
God.
Most I will put certain things in front of you to test your faith. God? All right, so read that again.
God. Verse 10. If thou faint in the day of adversity,
If you faint in the day of a little adversity, go ahead.
thy strength is small.
Right, your strength is small, man. You got to gird up your loins in these last days. Con?
God.
Link that up with Sirach 2 and 14. We can't faint, man. We can't falter. We can't faint. We can't give up. We can't get weak. You got to sacrifice. You got to be able to go all out. You can't be scared. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, you got to be in this truth strong, man. Okay?
God.
You got to even put on your little gangster shoes every once in a while.
Yeah.
Right, Kai? I remember I was watching that show, Godfather of Harlem, about Bumpy Johnson.
Yeah.
And Forrest Whitaker, he played the character of Bumpy Johnson. He told the dude that was playing Malcolm X. He said, I know you want to be political, but he said, even when you political, you got to be a little bit gangster. Okay? So when you in this truth, in other words, so nobody don't get simple, not like a gangster in the street, but you got to toughen up. Okay? You got to be ready for a little bit of anything. Out there when we teach it, sometimes you got to be ready to throw down.
Right.
Okay? At least to defend yourself in the camp. Okay? People think it's that literally smack me on the cheek and I give you the other one. Nah. Yahushua was more so talking about taking low. Right? But not you're not just gonna be out there getting punched in the face like that and hurt. Sometimes you gotta just stand up and defend yourself in the camp. Defend the gospel. Okay? Right, go ahead.
This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 14.
Go ahead.
Woe unto you that have lost patience.
Right, woe unto you that have lost patience. Come on.
And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you?
Right, what's going to happen when the Lord visits you, man? The Lord might visit you by testing your faith, God. He might visit you by putting you in those positions where you're like, damn, man, I'm Peter right now. Do I deny Yahushua? You know what I'm saying? God, I remember Peter went through the same thing. Are you going to deny being an Israelite? You going to be ashamed of your fringes? You going to be scared if somebody say, didn't I see you out there in 5 Points teaching? Nah, that wasn't me. You ain't see me. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be ashamed in that day, or are you going to stand firm and strong? Okay? Right, get one more on that point. 1 Thessalonians 3 and 3. Right, you got to be strong, man. You can't be in this truth and be weak, man. You got to strengthen yourself. Okay? Because what? As men, the Most High put us on the front line in this battle. He put us on the front line, you know, in this war. So we got to get out there and be strong, firm, and you can't waver and falter. Like scriptures say, be faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay? You know, but a lot of people fold, man. We've seen it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say, well, what happened? How come I see so many brothers and then I don't see them no more? You know what? They ain't make the cut.
Right.
Just like a football or a basketball team, right? You try out and the coach like, nah, you ain't ready, man. You gonna make the team fall. You gonna make the team lose. Okay? So the Most High do the same thing. Don't think, oh, you know, and it happens with all camps. I don't care if your camp is bigger or whatever. We all kind of go through some of the same curses. You see people come and go. You know why? Because they didn't make the cut. No disrespect to nobody, but they got weeded out because they wasn't strong enough for this thing. Okay? Right, go ahead.
The First Thessalonians chapter.
Some men can't even tell their wives they're going to camp.
Right.
Huh?
God.
Damn, you go to hell with denying your house shot. You can't even, you got to deny camp.
Right.
Because your rib say, no, you stay at home this Saturday. You know what I'm saying? God?
I see them sisters in the video.
Right. I see those women, it be like 10 women out there. Which one like you? You know what I'm saying? Babe, I'm going to camp to do the work. I don't care about none of that.
Right.
Now, you know what I'm saying? No. I see them sisters out there. You know what I'm saying? Or I just want you to spend the whole day with me. Okay? Yeah, man. Akia, man, the dog ate my homework. I said, damn, brother, every time you turn around, you got an excuse.
Now they make up that doctrine. Oh, you know, the Sabbath is a day of rest.
Right.
You be in the house.
Right. Good. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you got to balance it out. Scripture say, husbands, love your wives. But it also say what? You know what I'm saying? You can't love nothing more than the Most High in your house.
That's right.
There's a balance. And a spiritual woman going to understand that.
God.
You know what I'm saying? A spiritual woman going to love when you go do the work. She's going to admire that her man goes out there and put his life on the line for his nation. Right. A spiritual woman is going to love that about you. She's going to say, my husband's a warrior.
God.
He goes out there and stands strong for the nation. Okay?
God.
But a wicked woman, she's going to try to pull you away from doing the work. Okay? You know, sometimes, you know, the brothers might want to kick it. You're like, nah, I'm going to chill and spend some time with my rib and my family. You know, that's different. Or, you know, whatever, you balance it out. You make a good enough amount of camps and pull-ups and different things. I had already planned something with the family. I'm going to sit this one out. That's different. That's called balance. You know what I'm saying? But if you got an excuse for 2 damn months and then brothers do a little investigating and find out your rib is shutting you down and holding you from doing the work, then you got a problem, brother.
Right.
We're going to tell you to just go ahead and sit all the way down there.
Right.
Bro, you don't want to be out here. You know what I'm saying? You could be a member, do whatever bare minimum that you do, but you ain't ready for the front line. Okay?
God.
Read that, King.
1 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 3, that no man should be moved by these afflictions.
See, that goes into Matthew 13. Y'all know the parable of the sower?
God.
Okay?
God.
When Yahweh Shah said, here come a little bit of tribulation or something, and they offended.
God.
I didn't know I was going to have to go through this, man, being in this truth. Yeah. That's why you got to study and read them scriptures. Listen to the teachers when they bringing it out. God. Look at the camp videos for more than entertainment. Right? And see what the Spirit is bringing out. Go ahead.
For yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto.
Right. Yourselves know you are appointed. When you come to serve the Most High, like the scriptures say, prepare your soul for temptation.
God.
You're going to be appointed unto afflictions. Come on.
Verse 4, for verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation.
Right, we told you that we should suffer tribulation. You come to serve the Most High, prepare yourself. Be ready. Okay? Right, go ahead.
Even as it came to pass.
Even as it came to pass, go ahead.
And ye know.
And you know it, right? Because what? It manifested before you. So, you know, trouble will come your way. You know, trouble came Peter's way. And all we can do is read these scriptures and get an example. But you got to strengthen yourself. You gotta, when you come into this truth, you gotta put yourself on a whole nother layer of strength, right? Because you gotta come and serve the Most High. Okay? You gotta be willing to put that extra hour in. You tired, but you still push yourself to get out there.
That's right.
Right? You had a long week, work, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We had a long Passover week, events every day, double events. You know what I'm saying? People still calling, yo, you in Atlanta, yo, let's go over here. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, oh, it's the close of the Passover, man. I can't be hanging out every night. God? And this is our righteous hangout because we're closing the Passover out. God? So, you know, you go that extra mile, you know, and some of us brothers ain't just, you know, young men no more. So that stuff catch up to you, God. All that fellowshipping, gathering, eating, drinking, teaching on your feet. You know that wears on you after a while, okay? That's why you got to make sure you're eating healthy. You know, you're trying to keep up with your body because it'll give you the strength to endure. You know, especially you got a week like Passover where you know you're just going to be doing stuff back to back. Okay? So, right, I just wanted to iterate on what Shaw Paul was bringing out. So, go ahead.
You know, that was just a prediction by Yahweh Shah that, you know, Peter was going to fold up on him, and Peter was one of his top disciples, man. Right? So,
we definitely have to be prepared for tribulation, especially around this Passover season. There's an article I want to touch upon right quick. Article Tarah sent me. It's about the dude that did the shooting. The ADL wrote about him. ADL and the Israeli, the Times of Israel. We wrote about him a little bit. Like, you want to read this for me?
God. The Times of Israel. NY subway shooting. Suspect raged against Jews and others, had no clear ideology.
Right? He raised against Jews and others.
Moab, that's all through 36.
That's what he went to shot Moab, but he raised against Jews and others.
Moab will make you want to shoot him on that N train now.
Car. You know, I used to live over there, so. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Moab is annoying.
Moab, you have to ignore them, because if you feed them to them, they'll bug you out, man.
Yeah. Moab is annoying. All right, read on out.
Frank James, unusual for a terror suspect in that he has no consistent outlook.
He has what?
No consistent outlook.
Now they're saying stuff like this. He has no consistent outlook. But later on in the article, you just gotta fit Israel in there. Mm-hmm. Right? Read on.
Extremism, researchers say. He said in one video that Jews will stab you in the back in a heartbeat.
He wasn't lying.
Right.
The real Jews and the fake Jews.
Yeah, Amalek is cutthroat and Jake is cutthroat.
Right. Read on.
The man accused of appointing fire on a crowded New York City subway on Tuesday, shooting 10 people, raged against Jews and other groups online and had no consistent ideology, according to an extremism expert from the Anti-Defamation League.
Right, from the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL. Read on.
His social media really portrayed a disturbed individual who expressed violence, bigotry, and hate toward a range of ethnic groups, religious faiths, and even sexual identities.
Right, so he was mad at everybody. The blacks, the Hispanics, the Jewish people, the Chinese, the gays, the lesbians,
Sodomites.
Yeah, he was just.
He's mad at everybody.
He was mad at everybody.
That's like Michael Douglas in the movie Falling Down. Remember that movie? Any ever saw that movie? Falling Down with Michael Douglas. Man was just mad at everybody. Man was just shooting up everything and mad at everybody.
That taxi driver movie with what's his name?
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
But that train station, that stop, is exactly what he was looking for. Like that was fits everybody in there.
Good.
Sodomites, Moabites, Amalek,
Jake,
everybody.
Cutthroat Jake.
Right, read on that.
Said Carlin Hill, the associate director of the ADL Center of Extremism. You couldn't even point to him being right or left. Although his hatred is not primarily directed at Jews, he did make rants about alleged Jewish power and claims that Jews contribute to the ills of society, Hill said.
He wasn't wrong about that neither. Right, read on.
Frank R. James, 62, was arrested on Wednesday and is being charged with a federal terrorism offense that applies to attacks on mass transit systems.
So he being charged as a federal terrorist, right? This is what I wanted to get to right here.
There's something fishy about that because they said they found a man walking the streets the next day like nothing happened. Either he's got really mental issues.
And then they said something about it was no police around, no camera didn't catch him, something like that.
Ain't working.
Some cameras wasn't working. Yeah, it's just something funny.
Alright, start from the top right here.
It's like $5 to take the train now.
Yeah,
Right?
you know what I'm saying?
Cameras ain't working.
The cameras ain't working,
Hill said ADL researchers had been unable to discern any consistent ideology in James' many online posts.
Right, because he had many online posts. Because he'll curse out our people, he'll curse out the white people. He was damn near Israelite because he cursed everybody out, right? You know.
We did not find him to be consistent in any particular direction. He's critical of both the left and the right. He was both for and against black people.
He was what?
He was both for and against black people.
You know?
He's bigoted against almost every other race or ethnicity, she said. James even posted favorable comments about the white supremacist group, The Base, saying that the group fought for white people and suggested that someone should do the same for black people.
You see that? He's really an extremist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right? But he got that also, he got that Grandmaster, what's his name?
Jay.
He had Grandmaster Jake spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He think guns gonna solve it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He seen that white militia group and said, we need a militia group. You know what I'm saying? You know?
At different points, he also posted in support of the Nation of Islam
He supposed in support of the Nation of Islam, read on.
and an anti-Semitic leader, Louis Farrakhan,
Because they know they hate Farrakhan. Read on.
before turning against the movement.
Before what?
Before turning against the
He
movement,
got tired of it too. He turned against that movement.
God.
Read on.
and at another time supported the Black Hebrew Israelite ideology.
You see that? No, he has to throw something there.
Last but not least.
Last but not least, so
Right.
he supported that Black Hebrew Israelite ideology. Like, what is the ideology?
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
Last but not least.
Last but not least, right? I just had to get that part right there, man. So
So that's what they said on Israel?
yeah, I mean, they said the other thing about black extremists. You get that point.
But then as long as they got both of them in the article,
Right.
they can try to make the cut, like black identity extremists with black Israelites.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all they need.
Yeah. They can try to put the two together since it's in the same.
And they said that he had our ideology.
Right.
Right. When you break down the word ideology, that means our ideas and thoughts. So they're trying to say our ideas and thoughts will cause Jake to shoot up a place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's thought terrorism.
His thought is terrible.
It's what's that that movie Minority Report?
God.
Tom Cruise. Yeah, like you're guilty for your thoughts. Like
Yeah.
you know,
You
if we
think
go out
about
there and say,
somebody.
Most High going to judge you, Esau. You the devil, and Most High going to kill you, Edomites, when the time come. You know, oh, you thinking to kill the so-called white man, so we can lock you up on that.
Yeah.
Watch that movie on Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
Ah.
It's kind of wild, but the whole gist of it is pre-crime, meaning they can lock you up based upon your thought. Like if you was thinking, like I'm gonna kill this person, they can lock you up on the crime before it even happened.
That's what they told us. That's what they told us with what happened at the Brooklyn Tabernacle. The judge was like, "Well, the police was in the right to arrest you over something that could have happened."
Right. That's what happened on 9/11 when rest in power to the brother Lawyer. We was teaching on 34th, and Lawyer was like, he didn't say the Most High. He was like, we gonna blow more of your buildings up when we get the power. And the officer, Lawyer was wow. The officer was like, look, it was Ephraim, transit. Ephraim was a Port Authority cop. Ephraim was like, yo.
Not me.
Not you, nah.
Ephraim Mike.
Ephraim Mike. He said, yo, Ephraim knew our doctrine. He said, listen, you guys normally say what God is going to do.
Right.
He said he cannot say what he's going to do. He got to say what God is going to do. He said, that's your protection. He said, now I could lock him up right now. He said, I could deputize the MPs, National Guard, and I could lock them up because they was working together with the Port Authority. He said, I can give them orders to lock them up right now for a terroristic threat. But he said, I'm not going to do that. I'm familiar with you guys. He said, you guys got to say what God is going to do. He said, as long as y'all say what God is going to do, y'all good. He said, we can't arrest y'all on that because we can't come against you, if you say what God is going to do. But he said, if he just said, y'all going to blow up the next building. So he's like, that's a terrorist threat. We can lock him up right now. But he's like, I'm not going to do that. He called me to the side And the Ephraimite Port Authority copy ended up being cool. Right. And that he probably knew a little bit of the truth and followed us a little bit. Because he knew the difference is saying what you gonna do and what the Most High gonna do. You know, he had to be listening if he knew that difference. He's like, as long as you put God in it, you good. You know what I'm saying? So they could lock you up like, yo, you said we gonna blow up buildings. He was like, yo, I can give the order to lock him up right now. Lock all of y'all up right now. Yeah. Just based upon what he said. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you thought it. So when Shawpa's saying the ideology, that's what Esau is becoming. Like thought police when it comes to Israel. You guys think it so we can lock you up on a terrorist threat. Okay? God. That's how this thing is getting. But, you know, that's what's going to go down. Go to Revelation 2 and 10. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. See, that's part of that standing firm earlier. Right. Okay? That's part of that standing firm he was talking about. Because now, you going to lock me up on something I think? I ain't even do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Right. I went to camp and took my ass home. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do nothing. I ain't blow up no buildings. I went to camp, went home, and chilled. No. But with that stuff you said out there, you think to do it, you know? Right. But, you know, as long as we put the Most High in it, and then there's going to come a time where that's not even going to matter. They just saying that for now. It's going to matter for us because the Most High said, you know, we're justified in bringing out his word. But, you know, they're going to say, no, that's how you think. You know, Esau going to say, I am God. There is no other God. Right? So read that, brother. Revelation 2 and 10.
The book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Yeah, so you're going to suffer for your ideology, for your ideas, your thoughts. Right? Go ahead.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
The Lord said the devil shall cast some of you into prison. I remember when 9/11 happened, they wanted to come with this bill. I think it was the Victory Act 2 under Dick Cheney and Senior Bush. And what they had, this thing was wild, man. I don't know if they ever passed it or not, but they had a provision in there where they said if you believe in any other government being ushered in besides the New World Order government, you can be labeled a terrorist. So just if we say, you know how we pull out Isaiah 9, where Yahushua says the government going to be upon his shoulder? Right. And so we say, no, Christ is coming to destroy this society and he's going to usher in the new righteous government under him and the 12 disciples and 144,000. You could be labeled a terrorist because you believe in another government outside of the New World Order government. Okay? That's how deep this thing goes, man.
They trying to make that. They trying to make that happen now with people that promote supporting Putin. They trying to do whoever's supporting Putin.
Right, Con.
They're trying to make that now
like terrorism.
Right.
Wow, Con, check that out.
You part of Russia now.
Yeah, they sent that article. I saw that article. Somebody inboxed it on Instagram. With that y'all saw that ex-reporter from CNN or CNBC. He was a ex-political analysis, a reporter. This dude suited up talking about he going to Ukraine to fight against Putin. Yeah, it was a Jake. You see that? Yeah. He was an ex-reporter or political analyst for either CNBC or, I should have brought my other phone, I could have looked it up. CNBC or CNN.
So like, on the whole.
Yeah, he had on the whole. He had on the whole military, he had on the whole army fatigue with the M16 or the chopper, whatever he had. AR-15, whatever he had, and the man, he had the helmet on and everything. And the man said he going to Ukraine to help them fight. Yeah, man. You nigga help fight in Atlanta, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. We in Atlanta, all this crime and stuff. Our people don't realize we got a lot of work to do amongst our people. Right. You want to fight, you can fight right here in the streets of Atlanta.
You go to New York City subway.
Yeah, you go to New York City subway. Right, yeah. They get your help over there. Okay? You can go to the hoods of Atlanta and fight. Just help stop the black on black crime and the young brothers killing each other, the senseless violence. You got to fight right here. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they want to do. Man, these are prominent people. This dude used to be a reporter for one of either CNBC or CNN. I got to look at it again. It's in my Instagram. Somebody shared it with me. I'm like, wow, dude was all suited and booted too, man. He had the helmet on and everything. Damn. Right, ready to fight, but that's how Jake is, man. He's a cool. Right, until the Most High start raising up 1 million Jakes like in the subway in New York. Whether that was real or fake or whatever stage or whatever it is, some truth to it, whatever the case may be. But the Most High are going to have them kind of spirits out here. Like Colin Ferguson.
Right.
Colin Ferguson wasn't staged. He went on that Long Island Railroad and laid them devils down. What was that, 93, I believe it was? You know what I'm saying? He put down all the reasons. He was sound similar to this, Jay. He hated everybody. But Colin Ferguson was more against Esau. He was more against, like, he said, the racism of this society is why I did this. That was his exact words.
So was what's his name, Micah Xavier?
Who?
Micah Xavier, the Jake that went on Shroom Street. Edomites, they had to send a drone in to blow him up.
Yeah, in Texas.
Oh, yeah, in Texas. Yeah, in Texas. Yeah, come. Yeah.
That was, I don't know, that one I don't believe.
The one in Texas where he supposedly killed six cops.
Yeah, they send a drone in it, a robot, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're in Texas, there's gonna be some of you that might say, no, let me get him.
Right,
Like,
right.
no way. You're gonna send a drone in for that
I
killer.
heard he was sniping him out though. You saw him.
Yeah.
They didn't want no smoke though.
You know how it was in Rosewood?
Yeah.
You know, when turned around the 2 pistols.
Yeah,
Niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, you got them Jakes out here.
Yeah.
Look at Jake in Oakland with the chopper. He went on a motorcycle and cut down 4 Edomite cops. They killed him eventually, but he had that AK. He shot 4 of them Edomite cops, man.
Yeah.
And he killed 4 of them. That was out in Oakland about 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
So you got a certain type of Jake out here too. But some of these, brothers be getting mad, but some of these stories I don't be believing these. But I don't know, man. I leave it up like it's in the air. If it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? But see, you got to remember, anything that happens, Esau want to take advantage of it. You know, he going to use it to his advantage. Or if he stage it and make like it happened, or certain parts of it did happen, but he lying, whatever the case may be, he's still going to use it to his advantage. Okay? Right, so it's more than that. Go ahead.
That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days.
Go ahead.
Be thou faithful unto death.
Unto what?
Unto death.
Go ahead.
And I will give thee a crown of life.
See that? Yahweh Shah said, be faithful unto death, and we guarantee that crown of life. Okay? You know, so fight the good fight of faith, brothers. You know, don't give up. Stay strong. Keep this war and this battle going. And, you know, that's about it. Let me bring out something.
No, I have brought out something earlier.
Bring out something else. Give me just a few, and I'll wind it down. Give me Leviticus, Exodus 12 and 17.
Come.
Everybody have it? Say Karen. Did y'all go over 1 Corinthians 5 again today? Okay. No. So what I want to touch on briefly, Akim, is we always talk about purging out the leaven, right? During the Passover. Okay? But remember, keep the leaven purged out. Okay? Right? Like them 7 days is with 7 represents completion. So them 7 days, like you don't eat that unleavened bread, is symbolic to the actual leaven in your spirit.
Right.
So these are these different layers to the feast days. So when you look at that on a higher spiritual level, what is the Most High letting us know? Get that leaven out of you and keep it completely gone. Okay? That 7 is completion, So when you get that leaven out of yourself, don't, after the Passover, okay, the leaven can come back in me. No, keep the leaven gone. Read Exodus 12:17. Read that.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 17. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations.
Go ahead.
By an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread.
Go ahead.
Until the 21st day of the month at even.
Right, so that's 7 days you're supposed to eat that unleavened bread. Go ahead.
Verse 19. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel.
So you see how serious the Most High took that? no leaven for 7 days. Anybody that ate that leaven for 7 days should be cut off from the congregation of Israel. So if you don't get rid of that leaven in you, what's going to happen? You're going to be cut off from the congregation of Israel. That's spiritual leaven. Right, go ahead.
Whether he be a stranger or born in the land.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. Ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread.
All right, so go from there to 1 Corinthians 5. Bring it out. Yeah, bring it out.
Also, a couple brothers sent me on the inbox. They want to know when HOI is doing the makeup Passover.
Okay, we'll get it for them in a minute.
John,
All right, go from there to 1 Corinthians 5. Start at 1 and 2.
Time. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you.
Right, so Paul said it's reported commonly in the church in Corinth,
right,
that there's fornication among them. And it said commonly. Right, go ahead.
And such fornication as not so much as name among the Gentiles.
Go ahead.
That one should have his father's wife.
Right, sleeping with his stepmother, right, which is wicked as hell. Right, come on.
Verse 2. And ye are puffed up.
Yeah, what?
Puffed up.
Right, what does the leaven do to the bread? It puffs it up. Okay? It swells it up. So Paul said you got that leaven and you puffed up. Oh, yo, word you was with your stepmom last night? That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm going to go get with my pop's wife.
Right.
God, they was puffed up about it. God? Go ahead.
And have not rather mourned.
And what?
And have not rather mourned.
Yeah, something like that is sad, man.
Yeah.
We supposed to be like, yo, who the hell, what? Well, yo, get them up out of the congregation.
Right.
God?
But they say, if he was under my supervision
Right.
and my counsel, I would tell that man to go F his wife.
With some hair on.
That's why they should not be under your counsel. God? I still, what the hell was that? I still don't know what the hell that was. Right? Go ahead.
That
No, if they was under my, that's, read that again, verse 2.
verse 2. And ye are puffed up.
That's being puffed up.
Right.
If he was under my counsel, I say sleep with both of his stepmothers. Good? Let's say if his father had 2 wives, right? Right, and they wasn't his biological mother. I would say sleep with both of them. Go get some of that good heroin and sleep with, and get the second wife high and sleep with her too. Get some of that good crack from 5 Points. No, 5 Points got the best crack and sleep with his other wife. What the hell is in Israel going
He said
on?
Philly got the best.
No, I'm saying 5 Points. Goddammit. We in Atlanta, goddammit. We saying 5 Points, goddammit. Go get some of that good crack. I got that from y'all. Listen, y'all said 5 Points is known for crack. Go get some of that good crack from 5 Points, Atlanta, right down by the water station, or down the block from the camp, and then you get other wife high and have sex with her too. What the hell kind of counsel is that?
Right.
Concubine.
Pure madness. Pure madness. Go get some of that good crack from 5 Points.
See the
Yo,
zombies over
Israel,
there.
come on. What are we doing?
Don't get it from Marietta.
Right, don't get it from Marietta. Get it from 5 Points. Right, read, brother. Come on, Israel. What are we doing, man? We going 100 steps backwards with counsel like that.
100 step back.
100 steps backwards. Right, go ahead.
And have not rather mourned.
And have not rather mourned. You are puffed up. Right, go ahead.
That he that have done this deed
That he that have done this deed, come on.
might be taken away from among you.
Right, that we get rid of that amongst the congregation immediately.
Right.
All right, not puffed up and celebrating that. That man of wickedness will get the whole body judged. Right? Jump down to 7.
Can you imagine that though? Right before the husband seek vengeance to clip him. He's like, why'd you do it? I got counsel from the Hebrews.
Right, yeah.
So I'm gonna see them next.
Matter of fact, go to Proverbs 6:34 real quick. Go to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 34 real quick.
Bring it out.
You telling me you got the counsel from us? Hell no.
We
You know what I'm
don't,
saying?
we don't associate with them other kind of camps.
Right.
They're not affiliated with
HOI is not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite organization that's out there.
God,
Oh man. Hell no.
you got to say that after that, man.
Right? Good. Proverbs 6:34. Read that.
Con, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man.
Start at 32.
Con,
32 to get the understanding.
But whoso committeth adultery with a man lack of understanding, he that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
Now, listen to what Solomon said, right? Read that again, 32.
But whoso committeth adultery
So whoso committeth the act, go ahead,
with a woman lack of understanding.
they lack understanding. So obviously, if somebody give you the counsel to commit adultery, they double lack understanding.
Right.
Con?
Con.
Right, come on.
They're void of understanding.
He that
The man, okay, he falls into his lust, or the woman, she falls into her lust, wickedness, all right, they went off on the flesh, they should have known better. But for you to tell somebody that is okay,
Right.
you double the hell off. Good?
Con.
Right, go ahead.
he that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. Remember the scripture in Romans 1? It said not only those that do it, but have pleasure in those that do it. That not only you, but to give somebody counsel like that. What kind of counsel? And the brothers try to say he was making a point. What point was you making with that?
the Spirit of Christ.
Right? In the spirit of Christ, in the spirit of righteousness. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 33. A wound in dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away.
Right, you're going to get a wound and a dishonor, and your reproach is not going to be wiped away. So how much more if a person gives you that counsel? Right, come on.
Verse 34.
And that's going to forever haunt that brother. That's going to forever haunt that brother because it went out there. You know what I'm saying? Right, go ahead.
For jealousy.
Now, Solomon is telling you those that commit the act. And then how much more someone that will counsel you to commit the act. Right, go ahead.
For jealousy is the rage of a man.
Jealousy is the rage of the man. So we don't want nobody coming. The Hebrews gave me that counsel. All right, so after I get this nigga, I'm coming for them.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Jealousy is a rage of a man. What they call it? Crimes of passion.
Right.
Right? Crimes of passion. Right? You know, the person gets so, they get so wrapped up in their feelings and emotions, they snap.
Right.
They got a TV show, Snap.
Yeah, God.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance.
That man don't want to hear nothing.
Right.
Because the only thing that's going to do is play in his mind what that man was doing to his woman.
He literally not hearing nothing.
He ain't trying to hear nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that movie Sea of Love? Robert De Niro? It was based upon this woman. She was going out to clubs and bars and meeting men and taking them home and sleeping with them in her and her husband's bed home. You know what I'm saying? And Robert De Niro was hunting because the husband was finding the men and killing them. You know what I'm saying? And that happened, matter of fact, this weekend. I heard a mouth on a live earlier. There was a lot of death angels during the Passover.
Right.
You see that Edomite woman got stabbed up 60 times in New York, and they found her body, out in Queens. Now, what was happening? Her husband was going on business trips, and she was going to the clubs and bars, meeting men and bringing the men home. And one of the men she brought home stabbed her up and killed her. Or they said it could be foul play. The husband could have said, "I'm gonna go out of town, and you ain't get no dude this weekend. I'm sending somebody to body you."
Right.
You know Esau's a nutcase like that.
No, he'll hire somebody.
He'll hire somebody. Esau be like, "Well, I went on my back business. My wife was she was committing infidelity, and the guy must be killed her. I was out on business. Esau might have went out, knew she was doing that. The neighbors might have told or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what happened? The woman got stabbed 60 times.
Right.
See, the Most High even judge the nations a lot of times when they breaking the law. Okay? Even though the law was given to Israel, but that Edomite woman was an adulterous woman, and the Most High brought a serious judgment on her. She got stabbed 60 times. So it could have been a husband hired somebody, or it could have been one of the dudes she brought home.
It was just a cycle.
It was just a damn psychopath.
Right.
right? And probably had sex with her and then stabbed her 60 times. Because they do that. Esau's into that sadomasochism and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have sex with the woman and then stab
Kill
her
her
to death
right
and
there.
then have sex with the
Right.
body with all the blood on it. You know what I'm saying?
American Psycho.
American
Right.
Esau's like that, man. So, you know, them death angels be out. Go ahead.
Verse 35. He would not regard any ransom.
Man don't want to hear no ransom. You can't pay him nothing. Go ahead.
Rather will he rest content,
Go ahead.
though thou givest me gifts.
So he will not rest content. You couldn't get that man $1 million in that day. Because all he's seeing is blood. That jealousy and that rage. What does it start with? The jealousy is the rage of a man. So he ain't trying to hear nothing. Okay? Don't be telling you the Hebrews gave you that advice. You know what I'm saying? That man ain't coming, Will Smith ain't coming looking for us. Okay? Right? He bring that West Philly and nah, son. We ain't had nothing to do with Jada. We ain't give that advice, none of that. We ain't got no parts of none of that. HOI is not affiliated. Right? Go back to 1 Corinthians 5. Come on, Israel, man. We come on, man. We can't be going backwards. And I say Israel because look, we a nation first.
Right.
I don't give a damn how proud, puffed up you are. We the only camp, the most only dealing with us. We the only group. We're not affiliated with nobody else. They look at Israel. They look at Israel.
Right.
Okay?
Gone.
The hell with your pride or whatever. You're not affiliated. You some of the younger camps they feeling themselves. We all about ourselves now. Esau don't care about none of that. They looking at all of Israel, and when you put that out there, whether you like it or not, you can try to separate yourself all you want. Esau, they gonna look. They gonna look at you like, you know, damn, that's what these Israelites is about. Okay? And then a lot of people don't even know the difference, so they really can't discern. They just, you heard what that Israelite said? You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a nation thing by default, whether you separate yourselves from the other camps or not. Okay? Right, good, brother. Read on in 1 Corinthians.
Con.
7th verse.
7th verse, yeah.
Con. Verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven.
Right, so that's 7 days of completion of not eating that physical unleavened bread. Make sure you purge the leaven out and keep it purged out. Keep it completely purged out. Okay? Right, go ahead.
That ye may be a new lump.
Go ahead.
As ye are unleavened.
Right, because now your spirit is unleavened. Right? You got the leaven out of your spirit to prepare for the Passover so you can be in the right mind frame for the Passover. Okay? I want to be better as we cross the threshold of the new year and the Passover. You want to get better going forward. Okay? You got to turn over your spirit and improve, Israel. You got to, and you can't be going backwards. You got to improve, get better. Okay? Right, go ahead.
For even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Let us keep the feast. Come on.
Not with old leaven.
Not with old leaven. Go ahead.
Neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness.
Right. Neither with leaven of malice and wickedness, hatred, evil eye towards your brother. Go ahead.
But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
Right. The unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Come on.
Verse 9. I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornications.
Epistle. Right, not the company with fornicators, go ahead.
Right. Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world.
Right, and that's part of purging the leaven out too. No, brother, you got to get your spirit right. You can't do the Lord's Passover until you get your spirit right. Right, come on.
Or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must ye needs go out of the world.
Right, the Lord said what? He's going to put you to death, just like he would put those people to death in the world. All right, go ahead.
But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator.
Right, if a man is called a brother, he be a fornicator, come on.
Or covetous.
Or covetous, come on.
Or an idolater.
An idolater, worshiping the gods, religions, doctrines, go ahead.
Or a railer.
Go ahead.
Or a drunkard.
A railer, just don't know how to talk to his brothers, just always bitter and coming at brothers crazy, always got a negative attitude. Come on.
Or an extortioner.
A drunkard, you know what I'm saying? Control your liquor, brother. Right, come on.
With such in one know not to eat.
The Lord said, with such an one know not to eat. All right. Go ahead.
For what have I...
And these are all characteristics of having a leaven in you. Get rid of it.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
For what have I to do to judge them also that are without?
Right, the Most High going to judge the people in the world. Go ahead.
Do not ye judge them that are within?
But we have a right to judge those that are supposed to be part of the body. Right, come on.
But them that are without God judge it.
Right, the Most High going to judge the people that are not in the body. Go ahead, or in the world. Right, go ahead.
Therefore, put away from among yourselves that wicked person.
Right, put away from among yourselves that wicked person. Get that leaven out of the congregation. And guess what? If you that wicked person, get that leaven out of you.
Right.
Right. So as we close out the Passover season, you know, keep the leaven out of you. Okay? Right? Don't just, I'm gonna get the leaven out for the Passover because it's gonna be lit in Atlanta. Right? And I'm gonna go back to being off after the Passover. Right? Well, self-reflection, like Paul said, okay? Right, so that's what it's all about. Let your light shine in righteousness and get better. Get more diligent. If you're dealing with certain slackness, work on it. If you're not being out there like you should, work on it. You find yourself getting a little lazy, making excuses. Fight them demons off, shake them demons off, and get back diligent. God. So that's. Anybody want to say anything? Questions, comments? Oh, they wanted somebody put up a calculator. I mean a calendar. The Passover, the makeup Passover. Go to Numbers 9. The makeup Passover will be 14 days at even from the next new moon. The new moon second month will be Thursday, April 27th at even. Thursday, April 27th at even. So the makeup Passover will be 14 days from that at sundown, which will be April 27th. Scroll down. No, scroll down to 8. Scroll back up to 8. Yeah. So from the 27th. Even what I say, the 27th is a Wednesday. So the makeup Passover, the tentative date, I'm gonna do a separate video just announcing that in itself. The tentative date is Wednesday, May 11th at even. Okay? Your Passover is only gonna be exactly 2 weeks at sundown from your new moon. God, your first or second month new moon. God. Like Thursday, March 31st was the new year. So Thursday, April 14th at even was the Passover. It's always going to be exactly 2 weeks. So the tentative day for the makeup Passover will be May 11th, Wednesday, May 11th. I'm going to double check, but I believe the new moon is the 27th. I'm going to double check again, and I will do a separate video announcement for that in itself. Numbers 9. Read just the first couple of verses.
The book of Numbers, chapter 9, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the second year, after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at this appointed season. In the 14th day of this month, at even, ye shall keep it in his appointed season, according to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof, shall ye keep it.
Right, so the Most High was telling Israel when they came out of Egypt, keep the Passover just like when you came out of Egypt. Same thing, even though you're going through the wilderness. Okay, Khan. So, Friday, April 29th for the new moon, that's the second month? Okay, Salakia, correction, y'all, correction. Right, Shalpar just pulled up the actual new moon calendar. Salakia, I don't know where I get the 27th from. The new moon second month is Friday, April 29th. So the makeup Passover will be Friday, May 13th. Friday the 13th. Quote unquote. That's why I said I had to do another video because I had to double check. But Shalpar just looked it up. Is the 20? I was confusing with the 27th Salakia. So the next new moon, second month, new moon second month is Friday, April 29th, Shabbat night at even. The makeup Passover will be Friday, May 13th, Friday the 13th at even. All right.
You should be in Memphis then.
Right, kind.
Right.
Brothers and sisters, we will just be going live. If I do anything, I will be going live to give a service for those that missed it. You can do it in your home. If you want to gather in your different cities, get with other Hebrews and you can gather in your different cities. All right. HOI, any brothers and sisters that was unclean and didn't make it, you can gather in your different cities at somebody's house. If there's a quite amount of people, rent out a place and do the makeup Passover. May 13th at even. That weekend is scheduled for Memphis. Okay? All right, so I don't know if we'll be on the road or I'll be in the air, but if I'm home that evening, I'll just do a live from where I'm at, whatever state I'm in. I'll do a live and brothers and sisters can join in and do the makeup Passover. If not, we'll give you instructions on how to do it on your own in your home. You don't necessarily have to have us do a lesson or live. You can do it on your own in your home, just to make it up. Or if you gather with other brothers and sisters that might have been unclean and missed the first Passover also. Okay? But either way you do it, the date is May 13th, Friday, May 13th at even for the makeup Passover. All right? In the second month. Numbers 9, 1 through 14. I can read it. We just read a few verses. Y'all can read Numbers 9, 1 through 14 on your own. And the next new moon, second month, will be Friday, April 29th at even. Correction, not the 27th, but the 29th. Good. All right, so that's it on that. Any questions or comments? All right, so that concludes the closing of the Passover. Beautiful Passover week in the ATL. I was supposed to be back in Cali. I got stuck here.
I thought you left
But
already.
it's all good. Nah. It was just a change of plans because of all the logistics that was going on. I would have got back in time. So I just stayed here, huh? Okay, come. So we're going to close out in prayer. Eat, drink, and be merry. Celebrate the closing of the Passover, day 7. Brothers and sisters, remember, no leaven still throughout the day tomorrow. Yeah. No leaven throughout the day tomorrow also. Don't wake up and get a damn slice of pizza. All right?
Save the Krispy Kreme.
Right. Save the Krispy Kreme donuts and coffee for Friday morning. Good? Right? Don't get a HOI tomorrow at 12 noon. All right? A sub sandwich. Remember, still no leaven until sundown tomorrow. Sundown tomorrow, Thursday night, you can go back to eating leaven.
Stay away from the butter biscuits.
Get you a beer, a slice of pizza, a hero, and knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Come here, Shalom. Jerusalem, stand and face Jerusalem or the east. Shalom. Hallelujah. 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 Abanawa, Shemaim, Wadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Lakwavka, Taba'ah, Baratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Natananawa, Lacham, Ko, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Wafinawa, Kasalaknawa, Wafinawa, Tabiainawa, Banasaya 1, Abo, Abashainawa, Man, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Dailamyum, Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Our Father Yahweh, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua Tawara Aman. Hallelujah.
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 Shema.
Shema.
Yashurallah.
Yashurallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Eloheinu.
Eloheinu.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Echad. Shema.
Shema.
Yashurallah.
Yashurallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Eloheinu.
Eloheinu.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Echad. Shema.
Shema.
Yashurallah.
Yashurallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Eloheinu.
Eloheinu.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Echad. Shema.
Shema.
Yashurallah.
Yashurallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Eloheinu.
Eloheinu.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power, Yahweh's word, Deuteronomy 6, verse 4. Hallelujah.
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 Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushua,
Barak Noah, Baisha'ala, Wahabi Asapaya. Blessed, O Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua. Please watch over all the schools, camps, congregations that are sincere in Yahweh Shai throughout the four corners of the earth. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, the Wada Aman. Hallelujah.
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 Yeah. Anointed.
Yeah. I need one square.
Thank you.
I know get
Oh,
you
no,
know.
sisters first. So y'all can still get your oil for now.
Come.
Yeah. So look at my son. I got your son here too.
They should be coming.
Yeah, they still.
You got oil out?
Yeah, you just know. You got.
You got one?
Good.
Move along. Good. Candles.
Don't turn off the candles. Sisters, come in. Come in, make a single file line right here, if y'all can.
Allah.
Sisters. Sisters don't want their blessing? You got the oil and bread.
We're gonna pray, okay? Let's pray. Let's pray, Lord.
That's all the sisters?
No.
Anointing prayer, number 6, 22 to 27. Agnabia, Shalpar, Ephraim, repeat after me. Sisters, this is the anointing prayer. You know, at this. Okay. One more. Sure, that's all the sisters now. Pull your back.
sisters.
That's not all the sisters. I saw somebody in mustard color. Come on, y'all hiding sisters back there? Y'all want the anointing?
Hold on, Jojo. Want me? Want me?
Okay. Anointing prayer, sisters. This is the general prayer over the congregation of Israel. Or whatever you're going through, you know, for strengthen you, you know, sisters. Any ailments, anything financial. Your husband getting on your last nerve. You know what I'm saying? Now is the time to meditate on these things and ask the Most High to fix whatever problems going on in your life. You know, be a better woman yourself, overall woman for the Most High, better sister, mother, you know, and daughter, whatever the case may be. This is now your time to meditate as we pray over y'all. God?
God.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. Repeat after me, Akim on the podium. Yabaraki Yahweh.
Yabaraki Yahweh.
Yashamaka.
Yashamaka.
Ya'al Yahweh.
Ya'al Yahweh.
Wan Yahweh.
Wan Yahweh.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayakhanka.
Wayakhanka.
Yasha'al Yahweh.
Yasha'al Yahweh.
Wan Yahweh.
Wan Yahweh.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayashamnaka.
Wayashamnaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Wa'ashem.
Wa'ashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Baruch Shema.
Shema.
Nawa.
Nawa.
Aitha.
Aitha.
Shalak.
Shalak.
Maikala.
Maikala.
Malahim.
Malahim.
La.
La.
Shema'el.
Shema'el.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapar.
Rapar.
Aizah.
Aizah.
Magun.
Magun.
Kazak.
Kazak.
Ataziyah.
Ataziyah.
Kwawa.
Kwawa.
Sabalanwaf. 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 Nakwa. 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 Saraya. Saraya. Saraya.
Saraya.
Sarah. 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 Ladasha. 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 Ayla. 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 Tasha. 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 What's the other sister's name? You know she's not here. Sedasia. 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 Cedrica. 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 Tashliqua. Tashliqua. Ko. Akim.
Akim.
Ko.
Ko.
Akwafim.
Akwafim.
Ko.
Ko.
Banyum.
Banyum.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
Yad.
Yad.
Avalam.
Avalam.
Hallelujah.
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 Action. Line it up. Line it up. Action. Line it up. Don't be shy. Come on up. Action. Get your anointing. All right, here we go. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Y'all know same routine. Anointing prayer number 62 to 27. As we praying, we finish. You say your name 3 times, right to left. We repeat it. You receive your anointing blessing. Anything you're going through, brothers, anything you need strength with, you need help keeping out that old leaven, you know, now is the time to meditate on it. Better father, son, brother, overall man for the Most High. This is the time to meditate on it. All right? All right. Number 6, 22 to 27, Paleo Hebrew. Yabaraki Yahweh.
Yabaraki Yahweh.
Yashamaka.
Yashamaka.
Ya'al Yahweh.
Ya'al Yahweh.
Wan Yahweh.
Wan Yahweh.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayakhanka.
Wayakhanka.
Yasha'al Yahweh.
Yasha'al Yahweh.
Wan Yahweh.
Wan Yahweh.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Wayashamaka.
Wayashamaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Baruch Shema.
Shema.
Nawa.
Nawa.
Aitha.
Aitha.
Shalak.
Shalak.
Maikala.
Maikala.
Malahim.
Malahim.
La.
La.
Shema'el.
Shema'el.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapar.
Rapar.
Aizah.
Aizah.
Magun.
Magun.
Kazak.
Kazak.
Ataziyah.
Ataziyah.
Kwawa.
Kwawa.
Ari,
Ari.
Ari,
Ari.
Ari,
Ari.
Benjamin.
Benjamin,
Benjamin.
Benjamin,
Benjamin.
Benjamin, Yakazakala, 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 Guaran, 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 The Rock, The Rock, The Rock,
Malaki Howder.
Malaki Howder,
Malaki Howder.
Malaki Howder,
Malaki Howder.
Malaki Howder,
Amos.
Amos,
Amos.
Amos,
Amos.
Amos,
Hakar.
Hakar,
Hakar.
Hakar, Hakar,
Josiah,
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 Amapagai,
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 Nabia,
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 Shasha'al,
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 Shawapar,
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 Shawapar, Zabach,
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 Kol,
Kol,
Akim,
Akim,
Kol,
Kol,
Aguafim,
Aguafim,
Kol,
Kol,
Bunyam,
Bunyam,
Yasha'ala,
Yasha'ala,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Yahusha,
Yahusha,
the water,
water,
the yard,
Yah,
Awalam,
Awalam,
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Commission.
Bunyam, Yasha'ala, face Jerusalem again, pray for food and drink. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Baruch
Baruch
Barak.
Barak.
Noah.
Kad.
Pasak.
Pasak.
Barak. Noah.
Noah.
Kad. Lakam. Baruch Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahushua.
Barak.
Noah.
Noah.
Ma'akal.
Wa.
Shata.
Shata.
Wa.
Wa.
Yayan. Wa. Kazak. Shata.
Shata.
Baruch Ba'ashem.
Hamashiach.
Yahushua.
The
Water.
From
Yah.
Yah.
Awalam. Hallelujah. Brother, drink the circle right where you at. Little salute. Not too loud in the residential neighborhood.
God.
Akim Yasha'ala. Amajim. Right? How about Shemel Shabakatam?
Yahweh Yashab Rakatam.
Come your shot.
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 Who got next?
We got next.
Who got next?
We got next.
Who got next?
We got next.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
What we gonna do?
Take the kingdom.
What we gonna do?
Take the kingdom.
What we gonna do?
Take the kingdom.
When?
Now.
When?
Now.
When?
Now.
How?
Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua.
Damn it, how?
Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua.
Damn it, how?
Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua.
Come your shot up.
Come your shot. HOI.
Chariots fly.
To the chariots fly.
HOI.
HOI.
Chariots fly.
To the chariots fly.
HOI.
HOI.
Chariots fly.
To the chariots fly. Ba'ashem. Hamashiach. Yahushua.
Come your shot up.
Come your shot. Good.
Scream it.
Don't scream it.
Don't mean it.
If you don't mean it.
Come your shot up.
Come your shot. Good.
Shah Pasak.
Ashab Passover.
Happy Passover closing.
Khan.
Come
Boom your shot.
Atlanta. Beautiful week, brother.
Khan.
Come your shot.
Boom your shot.
The water again for hosting.
Khan.
Come your shot. Again, another year, 3 peats. 3 peats in the dirty South. God, 3 peats in the dirty South. Come your shot.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom.